You are listening to Radio Maria Canada. We now present the Health Hub, hosted by Kathy Biasi.
Welcome to the Health Hub. I'm Kathy Biasi, your host, and our producer is Alex Diaz. Thanks for taking time out of your day to be with us. Today's show has been taped, so unfortunately there's no opportunity for calling in. I'm hoping that will start soon. Please keep up to date and informed about our show by following us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We are at the Health Hub RMC on those locations, and our email address is thh@radiomaria.ca. If you subscribe to our podcast, you will be notified when our new shows are up. We are the Health Hub. We are on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, most of your favorite podcast platforms. And you can also find our podcast on the Radio Maria Canada website, which is radiomaria.ca, and on my website, which is kathybiasi.com. Our skin is our body's largest organ, and it performs a number of critical functions that are really important for our health. And, oftentimes we only are looking to the outward aesthetic aspects of our skin. But just to name a few things, our skin helps control our body temperature. It's an important part of our detoxification system. It is a barrier to the outside world, protecting what goes on inside from some of the things we don't want the outside world to touch. So it's very important that we understand how to properly take care of our skin. What are some signs and symptoms that the skin may need a little more love and attention? And to that end, we have Dr. Diana Drake on our show. And Dr. Drake is a board-certified traditional naturopath and master herbalist. She is the owner of DMD Natural Medicine, a wellness clinic in Lone Tree, Colorado, specializing in naturopathic endocrinology, including thyroid and hormone rejuvenation without the use of drugs or hormones. She is the creator of Skin Naturopathics Supplement line, an herbal supplement line for inflammatory skin conditions like acne, rosacea, and eczema. I have to tell you, I learned quite a bit talking with Dr. Drake. We've covered a lot of things that haven't been touched upon on the Health Hub. Some of the things that we highlight are how hormone imbalances can lead to acne for both men and women, how the gut is so impactful on our skin health, and where to really start the path to healthier skin and helping to maybe even reverse some of the signs of aging. Very interesting show. I think you'll really enjoy it. Please stay tuned, and we will be back in a few minutes to talk to Dr. Diana Drake.
Told me who I am, and I'm finding it's not easy to be perfect. So sorry, you won't define reflection. I'm looking into the eyes of who you made me, and to him I have beauty beyond compare. I know he defines me. Yeah. Who are you to tell me that I'm less than what I should be? Who are you? Who are you? Yeah, I don't need to listen to the list of things I should do. I won't try. No, I won't try. You don't define me. You don't define me. You don't define me. You don't define me. Who are you to tell me that I'm less than what I should be? Who are you? Who are you? Yeah, I don't need to listen to the list of things I should do. I won't try. No, I won't try. Yeah, who are you to tell me that I'm less than what I should be? Who are you? Who are you? Yeah, I don't need to listen to the list of things I should do. I won't try. No, I won't
You are listening to Radio Maria Canada. We now continue with the program, The Health Hub, hosted by Kathy Biasi.
Welcome back, everybody, and welcome to the show, Dr. Drake. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Kathy. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I've had a couple of people on the show that have sort of touched on skincare and how to take care of the skin, but I've never had a naturopathic dermatologist on the show.
Yeah.
Now, I'm really excited to get into this, but I don't know why I'm hearing so much about it. Is this a burgeoning field, or is it just something because, when you're pregnant, everyone's pregnant idea? Is it new to naturopathic medicine?
That's such a great question. So, a lot of naturopaths, when we come out of school, we kind of know a little about a lot of things, but we don't have a ton of naturopaths that get very focused or become, experts in a certain field. But because I started as an esthetician, I went into my naturopathic medicine training with the intention that I was going to focus on skin and understanding what are the root causes of these different ailments that are expressing on the skin that Western medicine is not so great with. And I'm not one of those people that's against Western medicine. I think that we need both, but I really feel like Western medicine falls terribly short when we're dealing with eczema and acne and rosacea and things like that. So I kind of already had that path in my head when I was going through this. And now actually, so I have, my private practice in Lone Tree, Colorado, where I live, and I also do a lot of virtual. I do see everybody, but I would say about 30 to 50% now is skin and other, hormonal and endocrine type things like thyroid and, natural hormone rejuvenation without using synthetic stuff. So, I just knew I wanted to specialize in that because I just felt like nobody was doing that.
I guess medical dermatology, if that's the right way to say it. I suffered through acne when I was a teenager too. It's quite symptom directed, right? It's getting rid of the acne versus getting rid of why the acne started. Is that the difference?
100% correct. And that goes for any, natural medicine concept versus Western medicine. Western medicine wants to balance your cholesterol levels by giving you a pill to make the cholesterol lower instead of addressing what's making the cholesterol high in the first place and changing that. Mm-hmm. So it's that way across the board. But yes, and if you go to a dermatologist with bad acne, they're going to, prescribe Accutane or antibiotics or, really drying and harsh retinols or maybe, high dose peroxide creams, things that really damage the skin.
And drying out, right? Because I guess, as someone who had acne, you always feel you're greasy. And so are these products just simply a drying mechanism?
They really are. So with Accutane, it literally goes into your body and stops the production of oil, which is so dangerous because every cell in our body needs oil, especially our brain cells. So when you're doing that, yes, you're not going to have oil come out of your pores, which will stop a blemish eventually. But think of the horrible damage you're doing in your body over time.
Is that repairable though? A lot of people have come through the Accutane years, and is it repairable?
I think yes. Mm-hmm. And it depends on, I know some people that have been on it, done 10 rounds and they're going to deal with a little more issues. Right. Mm-hmm. But I think, I think really drugs should be the last resort. Right. So if everything else is failing terribly, okay, we need to use a drug as an emergency. I understand. And there are some people, honestly, they don't want to clean up their lifestyle. They don't care what the reason is that they're breaking out. They don't care that that's going to damage their body. So they go ahead and they take a drug. But I do think that generally, once you become aware of it, you've been on a drug that isn't great, then yes, you can replenish the body and help it get back on track. I do know there are some lawsuits with some fertility issues and things, some IBS, some Crohn's disease.
Really?
That is caused by Accutane. So, but I still think you can, with time, rebalance the gut. I don't know about the endocrine system. I don't know what kind of damage it does, but I do think if, our bodies are so beautifully designed that if we give it the right things it needs, it can repair anything.
And, when we're talking about acne specifically, this isn't a vanity thing, right? It's, when teenagers have acne, I had acne, and it's not just I wanted to look better. I didn't feel good about myself. And there's nothing, right. Is there anything that is dangerous about acne, or is it this mental health space that kind of, bridges the two areas?
That is a great point. I think it really does hurt kids' self-esteem, especially at that age we are when we start the acne. And there's something important to be said about that. It is important to feel confident when you're growing up because, how it is right now with kids and mental health. So, adding to that and not feeling confident about how you look and being embarrassed, it's horrible. It is.
And as I said, I went through it. And it's not nice. And you feel like you're the only one. And it's like the reverse thing. You're the only one who has acne. You're the only one who looks like this. But a lot of people suffer from it, don't they?
They really do. And really, acne is just dysbiosis in the gut, toxic overburden, some potential food sensitivities, and, really when we're hormonal imbalance, right? So when we're teenagers, think of how crappy we ate. I was having soda every day, cookies at the, food, whatever. We had that little snack shop at the store. I would go to Wendy's for lunch, McDonald's. Literally the worst diet. When I look back, I'm disgusted. And I just think, how could I have been okay with eating like that? But I think the earlier on that we can get kids started with better nutrition, the better this whole thing could be. So the problem is, and I'm not a parent, but I certainly observe what parents are doing when they are at a restaurant or at the store. And it's so sad to me that they are ordering off these kid menus, which is just pizza, mac and cheese, French fries, applesauce, juice, letting their kids drink soda. So these bad diet habits that start early, the standard American diet, they go into our, into our teenage years, and we have no good microbiome. Like you were saying, your point earlier, where you felt really oily. Oil is okay, but if it's the wrong oil and it's really turning rancid on your face, like if you're eating a lot of fried things, canola oil, inflammatory oils, that's going to cause acne. If your diet has healthy oils like avocado and coconut and olive oil, then that's not going to turn as rancid on your face. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
And just,
so with the gut and everyone, we certainly talked extensively on how the gut really does touch every aspect of health. Mm-hmm. What is the connection with the hormones? And with that, when we talk about hormone imbalance, I don't know if it's just set in my brain. I tend to go women, right? But is there a common hormone imbalance that is out of whack, regardless of male or female?
Yes, it's the testosterone.
Interesting. So
when we cycle, we have that fluctuation that it's just when that testosterone balance changes, we secrete more oil. So that's why we break out a little bit more when we ovulate and then are on our period, versus guys, they just break out all the time. Typically as teenagers, it's not like that. They don't have as much of a cyclical breakout because they just have more testosterone. So when your body is changing that way and fluctuating, and different things are moving with the testosterone, if the oil in your body is the rancid kind and it's increasing sebum production, which is what testosterone does, increases sebum production, and it's the wrong kind of oil, and you don't have any good probiotics in your gut and enzymes in your gut is just basically full of trash, you're going to have horrible breakouts. It's just a fact.
That's really interesting because I have, as I have learned, as I have come in integrative health, I can see the connection with hormones, definitely with the gut. Never mentioned when I had acne, anything about hormones. It was watch what you eat, take care of your skin. And I have heard, and I know that I'm one of them, that people with acne and skin conditions, a vast majority take excellent care of their skin.
Mm-hmm. Topically. Yeah.
Yeah, topically. And that's exactly it. So are you going, when you're working with people, and I know we're just centered here on acne, but we're going to move beyond. But when you're working with people with acne, and I'm assuming you have teenagers coming through your door, are you talking to them about balancing their hormones?
So what I have done, Kathy, absolutely. Yes. So when you work with me, we are working at all of the root causes of acne, right? Which would include balancing the gut, balancing the hormones. When I was first practicing and learning about all these things, I was grabbing different brands. I would stock different brands, and I would use one brand for a probiotic and one brand for, different kind of hormone balancing, different herbs and things. And finally, one day I just said, there has to be, number one, more naturopaths and estheticians that would love to know how to do this. And I want to create a brand that really does all of these things in one, like it's a specialized skincare brand of supplements. And so that's what I did. So within my line, I have a female endocrine balance product and a male endocrine balance product. And yes, that is a staple that we use, if you're male or female, when we're working on acne, for sure. So yes. And it's just some really nice kind of tonifying and balancing general herbs for the endocrine system. And a lot of people, this really confuses them because they say, well, shouldn't we do a hormone test first and, see exactly what's off? And what's so beautiful about herbal medicine is, yes, in some cases when it is very extreme, I might have to go down that road with someone. But just generally, if we're cleaning the gut, if we're detoxing, cleaning up the liver and the bowels and the kidney and the lymph, then just a nice little herbal blend that just balances. Herbs are so beautiful. They go in and they balance what's out of balance. So whether something is too high or too low, it just kind of creates a nice synergy in the body. So it is kind of a one size fits all for everyone when used in conjunction with my gut kit and my detox kit.
Almost like an aptogenic formulation.
Sorry, say that one more time.
Like an adaptogen, almost like an adaptogen formulation.
So an adaptogen would work more on the adrenals, which I do have a formula that does that, but this is more going to be okay, so you know what? Let me just pull up the specific ingredient deck on it because that will help.
And your formulations can be used regardless of age. Teens
Absolutely.
right through to adults. Okay.
Absolutely.
And are you seeing a large recurrence of adult acne in your practice, or initial recurrence of adult acne?
I have everybody from teenagers to women going through menopause that are like, all of a sudden I'm breaking out. What's going on? It's really interesting. So this is, you would think I had this memorized. I'm sorry.
No.
So this is so my line is a line of about 18 products. So my female endocrine balance uses a proprietary blend of chasteberry, red raspberry leaf, false unicorn, wild yam, and dong quai. And then my male formula is a little more simple, and I can actually go through and tell you what each of these ingredients shine for and why I picked them. So the male also has the chasteberry, the red raspberry, and then eleuthero, which is an adaptogenic, licorice, and hops. So that's a little bit more for males.
Mm-hmm. And how long do you need to be on this type of formulation to start seeing results?
So typically what I've seen, obviously I haven't done clinical trials, but I do some kind of case studies and I work with a lot of people and kind of track everything. But within the first 90 days, we usually see somewhere between a 30 and 60% reduction of symptoms. So I like to tell people plan to do the program for 6 months.
Mm-hmm. And now, are you also doing topical care, or is topical care really not where it's at? There are so many companies coming out with probiotic cleansers, probiotic moisturizers. Mm-hmm. Are we throwing money away using these things?
That's such a great question. I love that. No, you're not throwing money away. It is important that we're addressing things topically. And I love I really specifically, when I came up with this company and it's called Skin Naturopathics, I really struggled with, do I also want to provide topical skincare? And I decided I didn't, because there are already so many beautiful skincare companies out there. Something with probiotics is ideal for sure.
Excellent.
It should definitely be organic. You should not use a cleanser that is bubbling and foamy. And I know this is confusing because people, like you were saying, I'm so oily, I want to take the oil off. If you're already oily and you're stripping your skin with a bubbly, foamy cleanser, your body is just going to send way more oil up there later because it's sensing that it's dry. So you're better off with a nice gel or a cream cleanser that is going to get the gunk off. It'll still feel like it's clean, but it's not going to feel dry and stripped. So yes, definitely important what you're using topically. I love, love, love if you can get something with probiotics in it, or even colloidal silver. Mm-hmm. When I tell people to use as you could use it as a spot treatment, or if you're really broken out, you can just put it on your whole face. But a nice colloidal silver gel that you can get at the natural store or on Amazon or whatever for like 15 or 20 bucks.
More of a calming for the skin?
So the colloidal silver is basically a natural antibiotic. So it's going to keep the bacteria balance on the skin. And I say balance because it's not going to just kill everything. It kind of just kills the bad guys and it will not dry you out. It's just a simple gel. You can also use it if you have a cut or a wound. You could put it up your nose if you have an infection. I mean, it's just basically a natural antibiotic.
And it can be used on, okay, interesting. Now, a quick question just before we go to break, because I have heard this and I just want your opinion on it. Oil cleansers for oily skin. And the argument is that oils will emulsify other oils.
Love, love, love. Yes. If you have and people that are listening are going to be like, oh yeah, I've used that. Or they're really going to be like, huh, that's really interesting. If you've ever used an oil cleanser, they are so beautiful. And, you know, you need to find one you like. Some are better than others. And, you know, just find one that like, you like the scent, you like the way it makes your skin feel. Typically I have found if you pump it and it's a thicker oil, it's not my favorite, but if you pump it and it's really thin, almost a watery oil, those ones are the best. Like I personally use the Tata Harper cleansing oil. I love that one.
Yeah, I use oils too. And I'll tell you just before we go to break here, I think I just said that. I went down the path of, hyaluronic acid, all the different, vitamin C serums and stuff, and good companies. And it burned my skin. And I'm very simple with my skincare routine. And oils really are the base of them. Oils as a moisturizer. I mean, I do definitely use some creams and things like that. But for my skin in particular, some of these serums were very, very hard on my skin. Maybe I'm not using them right, but that's just what
organic. Do you remember?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. Vitamin C really is better taken internally anyway. I take 10,000 milligrams orally of vitamin C a day. It's a lot, but my skin is glowing and beautiful and amazing. People don't realize that vitamin C is the matrix or the glue that collagen suspends in. So for anti-aging, if you can really, really up your vitamin C internally, that's going to do way more benefit than using it topically, 100%.
We're going to have people running to the store now with vitamin C on their minds. We had it for health and immune system. And now, the anti-aging thing, just a whole other area. We're going to take a quick break, everybody. Okay. We will be back in just a few minutes to talk more about this great topic with Dr. Drake.
Don't know how it is you looked at me and saw the person that I could be. Awakening my heart, breaking through the dark, suddenly your grace, like sunlight burning at midnight, making my joy inside I can't contain, but even perfect days can end in rain. And though it's pouring down, I see you through the clouds, shining on my face, like sunlight burning at midnight, making my life something so I am
You are listening to The Health Hub here on Radio Maria Canada, a Catholic voice wherever you are. To contact us and be a part of the show, email thh@radiomaria.ca. We now continue with the program. Here once again is your host, Kathy Biasi.
Welcome back. We are talking with Dr. Diana Drake. We're going to continue on this conversation because I think we've left a lot on the table here. So we've pulled in vitamin C. We've talked, I've talked about hyaluronic acid, liquid or oil cleanse, all that stuff. And people are sitting going, wow, how do I cut through this to do something for me? So, if we look at your skincare line, maybe you could simplify things and give us a protocol.
For sure. So if you or your teenager is suffering from acne, how I have designed the supplement brand to work is everything is in kind of step-by-step, month-to-month kits. So you will just start with your step 1 kit, and this is a full body detox. It includes a colon cleanse, a skin detox, which is really working on lymph and blood, and then a kidney and liver detox. So you will run that. And this is basically just getting all the junk out of the body. This is really, really important before we heal that we do a cleanse. Once you have done that, you will move on to your step 2 kit, which is kind of going to more deal with the adaptogenics, the stress, and it will continue to support the liver and the kidney and the elimination organs. While you're doing your step 1 and 2, so in your first month is your step 1, we're also going to clean up the gut. So you'll get a gut kit with that, and that is a prebiotic, a probiotic, and an enzyme. And the prebiotic formula is really beautiful because it also includes a lot of things that kind of repair the gut lining inflammation, works on the integrity of the gut. And then, like I had mentioned before, you'll do either male or female endocrine balance. Now, if you're not able to clean up your diet, I always suggest to take my Omega 369. This is a fish-free product because I watched the Seaspiracy documentary and I was horrified.
Yeah.
So
oh my gosh. I stopped watching stuff like that. I'll be eating celery.
Right. So I switched. Now I do a fully vegan Omega. So that would kind of be your first month. So you're doing a full body cleanse. You are doing a gut restoration program. You're addressing hormones with either female or male endocrine balance, and then an Omega 369. On month 2, you're done with your step 1 kit. You move to your step 2 kit, and then you will still continue your gut restoration, your omegas, and your endocrine balance. So, and you can find this all at skinnaturopathics.com. I also do a free consultation. There's a little link you can click and you can get a 15-minute consultation with me, because sometimes it is overwhelming understanding how to pick all these things in the right way. You can also order just a 90-day kit already ready to go.
Excellent. It can be overwhelming, all the supplements. But, again, we return to the gut. We return to supporting our detoxification pathways. These are essential for everything. Exactly. And it's amazing. We keep looking at, all our shows are coming up in different areas of health, and it all comes to the central piece of taking care of the gut. And every time I hear it in different spaces, it's like, yes, there it is again.
It's the glue.
It really is. It really, really is. Now, you mentioned, we talked about a little bit briefly, or you did, that you were an esthetician in a prior life. Yeah. So how did that move you to? So you had been dealing mainly with women, I imagine. But what other skin conditions did you see that you were, not happy with the way you were treating in the aesthetic? What's that word? In that setting.
I do see a lot of rosacea and eczema, but there is one interesting one that you cannot treat really aesthetically because you can't really touch it with a facial. It's so sensitive. And that is perioral dermatitis. This is a big one that the dermatologists have no idea what to do with it because it's so inflamed that when they prescribe their cortisol cream for it, for some reason, it still hurts the skin barrier. So I get people all the time that are just like, I went to the dermatologist and these creams actually made it worse. So for those people that really have no other options, and I get people, Kathy, from all over the country calling me about their perioral dermatitis now.
What is that?
So what it is perioral, right? So it's going to be around your mouth and your nose, and it's just a really red, inflamed rash. Sometimes it can have a little acne and be bumpy. And basically what it is we have to clean up the gut and kind of support the lung tissue, because I can't show you because we're not really doing
No, not at all.
a film thing, but there's a really cool, people can Google a facial ailment chart, and you will see, and it's so interesting, that different areas on your face are actually vectored to all of your organ systems. So you'll see around the nose is the lung, and around the sides of the chin and the mouth are the colon. So I have a kit. It's called my Eczema Kit, XMA kit. And this can be used on both eczema and perioral dermatitis. But what it is it really goes in with beautiful cooling herbs. And it's just going to cool down all the heat in the body that's expressing through the face. And then we'll also go in with the cleanse kit. So you would do the cleanse kit plus the eczema kit. And that's really going to work on that inflamed, hot, uncomfortable. And sometimes it's itchy and flaky and really, really bad for people. So that is a great one that I'm kind of I'm like a niche practitioner in that, because the dermatologists have no idea what to do with that.
Interesting. And what is that site? So maybe you don't have the actual site, but you can Google a site that shows the meridians of skincare.
Yeah, I would just Google what would be the best. So a face map or organ face map, maybe. Let me see.
Face map. That's very interesting. It's so funny. Every time I have guests on the show that are, in areas that I really don't consider in my practice, it's like, I have to learn more about this. And so, interesting. You mentioned we dermatitis, we talked about this. Are they all under the umbrella of eczema? Or what differentiates all of them?
I would
rosacea
say
from.
So rosacea, that's a stomach problem. So with rosacea, people typically have over the years. So typically we don't get rosacea until we're like in our later 30s. Not to say it can't happen earlier, but from poor diet or potentially taking antacid drugs or just being long-term being on any kind of drug in general, including birth control, we deplete our stomach acid. And so what happens is the stomach becomes very vulnerable to infection. And there's a certain bacteria that tends to kind of overrun the stomach, and it's called H. pylori. 9 out of 10 times a rosacea patient will have an H. pylori bacterial infection in the stomach and potentially candida in the small intestine, because the stomach just can't do its job. There's not enough acid in there. So what happens is it flushes the face. So a dermatologist will give you a low dose antibiotic for this, and they will just put you on it long-term, which is so dangerous in the gut, obviously, but it works because it's killing that bacterial infection. However, it's not addressing the acid levels in the stomach, which is really what would kill the infection in the first place, right? Mm-hmm. So when I'm working with rosacea people, I replenish their stomach acid. Within my line, I have a really cool product. It's called Rose Guard, and that works on candida, hydrochloric acid, and just kind of overall pathogenic balance from the stomach to the large intestine.
So when you see somebody walk, acne is identifiable. They're pustules, and it's fairly easy to identify, I'm sure. But when someone walks into your office with inflamed red skin on different, is it the area of the body that helps you determine?
Area of the body. So eczema really is just an overburdened immune system and liver. Eczema is going to express, it certainly could be on the face, but it's more going to be like on the upper body. It could be on the neck or behind the ears. It tends to be in cracks of places like the inner elbow, behind the knees, maybe on the webs of the fingers. And it's going to be more red, puffy, flaky, itchy, and irritated, versus rosacea won't. feel irritated, but it's just like a very rosy red cheek. It could be a little pustule, and it could also have little, broken, what am I trying to say?
Blood vessels?
Blood vessels. Like there's a word for it, microvascular rosacea, something along those lines. But it's more just like, it just looks like a really rosy red cheek, but it's not flaky or any of those things. With eczema, our skin is truly an elimination organ. So if your liver, your kidneys, and your gut can't take care of it, guess what? Your body is going to push it out your lymph and through your skin. Mm-hmm. So with eczema, we're really dealing with an immune response to something that the body cannot get out on its own. And that typically can be something fungal, general liver overburden of toxins. There can be a few things going on with eczema, but it's different than the rosacea. Rosacea really is a stomach and small intestine issue versus eczema being an immune issue with the skin trying to get toxins out via that last pathway.
Interesting. Now, the one that I don't want to leave aside, because I know it's very difficult for some people, psoriasis, which, is said to be incurable. What is your experience with psoriasis?
I wish to God that I had more psoriasis clients walk through my door. I just don't, but I still have a great understanding of it, which is why I would love to be able to work with more people on it. I just don't see a lot of it, but psoriasis is pretty much eczema with an autoimmune element to it. So not only is the body trying to get rid of a toxin through the skin, but now the immune system is attacking the skin. So we're a little more elevated than the position of eczema. But again, we're still at the same concept of eczema because it's something the body is trying to get out through the skin. A lot of times psoriasis really is a mycotoxin, I guess mycotoxin toxicity, really. So mycotoxins are what molds give off.
So this is a lot more in depth in treatment.
It's a lot more in depth. And, people will go to the derm all the time and they'll get their skin scraped and they'll say, well, my dermatologist is telling me it's not a fungal infection. It might not be a fungal infection, but the fungus in our bodies emit a toxin called a mycotoxin. That toxin is not detectable in the scrape, and that could be the complete root of the psoriasis. It could also be something else, but that's kind of just an example. So these things are harder to pin down, but a good naturopath will do muscle testing and really do a deep dive on your lifestyle, where you lived, where you grew up, what kind of water, you're drinking, what things you were exposed to from an environmental standpoint to really kind of get to the root of what's going on. I also use in my practice a biofeedback device. Mm-hmm. So I can actually see if there are too many EMFs, too much mycotoxins, if there's too much candida. So I can see a lot of frequency things that are just easier to grab that way than to try to figure it out with a lot of expensive blood tests that aren't always very conclusive.
Well, what's the purpose of muscle testing in the whole piece?
Sure. So you can muscle test for a lot of different things. But for example, let's say I have a client come in and I'm not sure. Typically, I want to do so many things on a client, right? A client comes in, they have something wrong. And I think, okay, there are these 20 products that could potentially benefit this condition, but I have to muscle test each individual product on the client. So because their body is going to tell me yes or no to those products. So it's how I whittle down the protocol to be very, very precise for that person. Now with Skin Naturopathics, since most people, purchasing my brand online, they are just, ordering it on their own and I don't physically see them. That's why I designed those kits and those month-by-month steps to just cover all of the potential imbalances. So we're going after all of the potential root causes. We're cleaning stuff out, we're fixing the gut, we're balancing hormones, we're putting in the right kind of oils, or if it's rosacea, we're going after potential infection, candida, all the things. So I kind of try to make it into little easier to figure out month by month, step by step kits that just kind of cover everything.
It's a very it's such a logical approach to it. And, when you step back and you listen to what you're saying, it's like, I wish I had, or it's just, as with a lot of things, right? You learn and you expand, and it's a wonderful thing. So I know you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but just as we're ending the show here, I think people have a little bit more of a keen ear for your contact information, website, all that, where people can get a hold of you.
Okay. If you are interested in my skincare line, that is Skin Naturopathics, Naturopathics. It's a big one.com. That would be where you can go on and you can, look at the supplement line, order kits, all that good stuff. As a practitioner, if you would like to actually, engage with me, I see, again, people, virtual all the time. That's DMD Natural Medicine.com.
Well, and we'll have all of that information for sure on the podcast information site. And, it's just been really, really interesting to talk to you. I love it when guests come on and open my eyes to different things. And I can now look at things differently, skin conditions and so forth. I had someone ask me about, and I'm not joking about this. I'm just looking back at some texts in December. Someone said that, their friend is struggling with, I think she used the perioral dermatitis.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, this was her text. She's lost and doesn't have any relief from it. And of course, I had to Google what that was. I had no idea. And so odd that you bring it up here. So, there's this karma going on. So I definitely can point her to the direction of you.
Absolutely.
And she's just a young one. So hopefully, things happen for a reason, right? It's so funny that you brought that up. But anyways, I ramble. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been very enlightening and a wonderful conversation. It was really nice to have you on the show.
So glad. Thank you so much, Kathy.
You have been listening to The Health Hub, hosted by Kathy Biasi, here on Radio Maria Canada.